Whether you were good or bad this year, it looks like coal and everybody's stocking for Christmas, of course, if they can find coal. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, December the 12th, and just finishing our week in Vegas and had a great show and a great seminar. Learned a lot and had a lot of fun, but as we move on into the Christmas season, the end of it, which is in a couple of weeks, suddenly we're starting to recognize that there are major problems that are going to create a very sad Christmas, the way things are looking at the moment. And of course, thanks to the Fed and thanks to the administration for all the BS that we are seeing here, it's not a pretty picture, and we will see where we end up. But in the end of the day, things do not look good. In the meantime, this update is brought to you by our friends at Capital Trading Group, the CTG Group, and of course, listen, they've got great service, the only ones I've approved for letter of direction trading, and of course, they trade all my accounts, including some of the new products they're coming out with. Check them out, info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. That's info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. And in the meantime, we've got all kinds of issues going on, and it all starts with the supply chain. Now, if you haven't noticed, in your local stores, we're seeing empty shelves. Now it's Christmas time. And of course, listen, we've got boats in the harbor. We've got a lot of people who've got a lot of issues. In fact, I had dinner the other night with somebody who is a retailer and told me that fortunately, they'd ordered goods well in advance, but they still have not received them yet. So you're going to see this is going to be a continued problem because, nobody wants to work. You've got all kinds of discontent everywhere. And, when you continue to feed stimulus and garbage, that's what you get. The old saying, garbage in, garbage out. Well, that's what we're creating, garbage. Okay. And of course, so it could be a very bleak Christmas, and how these retailers are going to ever meet numbers is beyond me. Okay. Of course, we know that they're already starting to manipulate the numbers so they'll look better, so their stocks will not suffer. But we're in a major issue of oil, the scarcity of oil globally now between natural gas and crude oil. This is the problem that you create when you have imbeciles running our country and decide to shut down the production of oil in one day. This is the problem you get when you turn the control over to Saudi Arabia and Russia and the likes, who can't wait to stick it up the ass of the United States of America, which our allies are already getting very concerned. And if you look at some of the things that this administration has done to Israel already, you are creating problems with one of your best allies. But what do we care? Let's just keep letting the illegals flow in as we continue to watch the budget soar to finance the illegals that we let flood into this country. Okay. And of course, I think that probably the joke of the week, okay, is the U.S. and others pledge export controls for controls tied to human rights. Now, really, listen, you can't even get them to admit that human rights in most parts of the world are ridiculously horrible, especially China. The NBA proved that themselves by standing mute because of the money when Hong Kong had issues. The Hollywood stood mute when all this was going on. Let's not listen to the bullshit that we have, that we're tying anything to human rights, because nobody cares. That's the problem. It always comes back to nobody cares. And if they did care, then we would be running much smoother right now. so they could talk the games. It's almost as funny as Biden sending the oil companies the firm letter about overpricing. He didn't mention the stupid, ridiculous taxes that we have to pay on fossil fuels and oil. Okay. And, I live in the murder capital of the world, but you've got already over a dozen states have record murder rates this year with 3 weeks to go. Okay. Look, we are in a major mess right now. Inflation has just hit 39-year highs. Where does that take you back to? That takes you back to the ending of the Jimmy Carter era. Okay. And the damage that was done there. You have so many job openings, which are near record highs, and you can't fill them because, of course, the administration continues to fund garbage with more garbage. And, again, get your ass off the couch and get a job. Okay. Quit depending on handouts, which are not free. Okay. We, the taxpayers, are financing that. Remember, government is takers, not makers. Okay. Like Bernie Sanders and the rest. But government in general does not produce anything. They create massive amounts of debt because they don't live under a normal budget. Now, you want to put this in perspective? 470,000 homes are underwater or at negative value to what is owed. Okay? Now, again, where is that going to come from? You know where it's going to come from because we've been through this before. The money's going to come through the banks, through defaults, and we'll probably get lucky enough to bail out the jackasses again, because what other business can you be in when you make a fortune, and if you do something wrong and your fortune that you made gets impeded by foreclosures and no more payments, the government will bail you out, the Fed will bail you out. Now, isn't that a crock of crap? Okay. Look, this is a mess. And of course, we've seen the movie before. This is not a new theater. And thank God for Senator Manchin, who continues to fight this moronic Build Back Better America. This is destroy America, not build back better America. The amount of money that it will take to fund what they want to do, the amount of debt that it's going to create. At some point you would think that we would actually have to live with a normal budget. At some time you would think that the government would have to follow and stick to their budget and not have the ability to continue to print money. But of course, that is what's really lending the support for the cryptocurrency. Although they got hammered last week, but that is what's lending support. And of course, the New York casino is supposedly going to have the world's largest trading crypto floor coming. So what you're seeing is, as the government kept saying, no, 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 you are starting to see more acceptance of it. And just by looking at the amount of ETFs that are now coming out regarding the cryptocurrency, we're seeing some of the other things that are going on. But when we get back to this inflation, okay, first of all, it's ignorant and it's dumb. Now, this is not this administration's fault. This has been going on forever. Okay. When you do not include the two biggest costs to every American family, which is food and energy, within the inflation figures, and you still have a 6.8 inflation gauge, and you're getting a growth in wages of 4.5. So think about it this way. You're losing 2.3% for every dollar you spend. Okay. Your cash is liquidating in value as it sits in your bank account. Okay. So, but real inflation is probably somewhere north of 15, maybe 20% when you count food and energy, our most expensive and most used commodity. Okay. But supposedly they're too volatile. But do you think they're actually going to come down when you look at what's happening? Because interest rates are going to have to rise. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, farmers borrow fortunes to produce the crops and the meats that we eat and we see. Okay. Now, not only does it cost more to raise the cattle, to raise the crops, okay, you add on more interest rates because farmers already get screwed on interest rates. They don't get 3% like you do on a mortgage. Farmers are somewhere between 6 and 9% interest. Okay. So at the end, who has to pay for that? We do. Okay. The consumers got to pay for it. That money, they can't pay for it. They can't afford to pay for it. And why would you work? Why would you operate a business at a loss? Okay. So, and now, and add in that farmers are having heavy restrictions on shipping out of the country because of these stupid ass COVID crap. Okay. And of course, we have the constant battle about the vaccination. And I don't know the right answer. I ask 100 people, I get 100 answers different. Okay. Because nobody's really sure. And I think that becomes another problem, okay, because you've got so many different terms and rules and regulations around the globe, okay. In the meantime, Americans are making less money, okay, although they say they're making more, but hourly wages continue to decline. And that's if you can get help. And as I was staying downtown at the D Hotel, which they've done a great job at rehabbing, and of course they own Circa as well. But, I get up at 1:30 to go to work. And normally for years I've stayed at the D, went downstairs and got coffee, okay, at McDonald's. They're closed. They don't have enough help to open up. Okay. So they can't be open 24 hours anymore. And if any town needs 24-hour service, it is Las Vegas because it is a 3-shift town. Okay. I mean, the casinos are open 24 hours a day. And the overall costs, though, are laughable. Okay. I haven't gone to McDonald's for a sandwich in a long time. And on Saturday, I was hungry. I went to get a egg, cheese, and biscuit sandwich with a hash brown, $7. I almost pulled away. Almost didn't want to pay it. Okay. It is laughable at what's going on with the overall costs of everything. And they have to keep going up because, again, we have no supply chain. You've got empty shelves, and it's all at the fault of this current administration's ignorance. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, December the 12th. And of course, we're nearing Christmas. We're nearing the end of the trading season. But of course, I have some great sponsors that help me bring this to you each and every week and each and every day for the updates. And just remember, look, there is no obligation for you to do anything. But please, at your convenience, take a look. And our other brokerage partner, and I do remind you that I have many brokers. I mean, I have the big guys, everyone you've heard of, okay? But the two that I support the most are the ones that do the best job. And of course, CTG, which I talked about, but Trader, listen, Trader's $10 a month. I mean, how much better do you think you're going to do? Okay. You're paying a lot more. In fact, as I said last week, I had somebody say to me, I paid $12,000 last year. I said, well, give me $11,800 and I'll pay the $120 for you for the Trader. But not only is Trader great with customer service, they came out and spoke at my program, at my show, and we have the ability to auto trade because we've got their APIs. Now, you don't have to auto trade if you don't want to, but equity members of our portfolio models can free trade automatic trading based on our models, and Trader doesn't charge for it. To cost you nothing, it's free. Okay. And hedgers, they have to pay a licensing fee for the software because they take a class. But in the meantime, check them out. Look, I'm not telling you to switch. I'm telling you to check them out. Try.trader.com/Bubba. That's try.trader.com/Bubba. And of course, our metals partner, look, I think that now is a great time to talk about it because I think we need to convert. If you're in real cash, okay, you better start converting some of that into hard assets. And I don't think there's any better hard assets than gold, silver, and platinum. Okay. And I think, again, I'm not telling you to panic and run out today. I'm telling you that I think that it's a real potential issue. And I think that you want to look into it. And look, hey, check out Strategic Wealth Preservation, swpcayman.com/Bubba-trading. That's swpcayman.com/Bubba-trading. check them out. Again, I don't tell you where to go. I just tell you what I do. Okay. And whoever I tell you, I'm also using them as well. Okay. And Family Farms Group, which I can't use, I would love to use them. I wish they had somebody for my HR department, but they do everything. They help farmers do the stuff that they don't want to do. Check them out, familyfarmsgroup.com/Bubba-trading. That's familyfarmsgroup.com/Bubba-trading. And of course, our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba-trading. It's patreon.com/Bubba-trading. It's /Bubba-trading. Let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and myself, Todd Bubba Horwitz, and talk about what happened in the markets last week. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, December the 12th, and well, we get a little bit of whipsawed. We got whacked last week. Okay, what can I tell you? 1 week we whacked them, they whacked us back. This is a very challenging time in markets, and of course, we have now reversed again back to the long side of the markets. Not that I love that side of the markets right now, but that's where we are. And we are going into at least a bullish time of year, but we're going to be at a key spot in the indices as to whether or not, they can make a new high, because if they don't make a new high and then make a lower high, it could be somewhat problematic. But in the meantime, we are long. Okay. All the indexes across the board, Dow, S&P, Russell, and NASDAQ. And, we're right at the pinnacle. It was a very big, almost a straight up move last week with the exception of Thursday, and still was much higher on the week. Okay. So we remain long. In the metals, we remain short, and they look pathetic. There was a couple of days that they looked like they were going crazy, but at the end of the week, when you go back and look at it, silver got clobbered, gold was slightly lower, and platinum was slightly higher. But I see no reason to start jumping into metals yet, because they don't look very good. Okay. Now again, long term, if I was trying to convert cash into a hard asset, would I buy gold? I buy it all the time. I'm an owner of physical metals anyways. But for today, we're short gold and silver, and would be short platinum as well, with the exception that, hey, platinum is not liquid enough for us to be trading it actively here. Okay. And the bond markets, bonds and notes, we are long both. Okay, which indicates that the interest rates are going lower. I think they're going to go higher, and I think we'll end up probably reversing. Okay, and bonds and notes were a little bit lower last week, but we are still long at the moment. Okay, and copper, we are still short, and it was pretty much flat. It had some movement, but pretty much flat, slightly to the downside. We're still short nat gas, which got clobbered again. Nat gas was just $6.60. Now it's $3.90. Now, what are we saying there? I'm assuming it's saying that they're expecting a very mild winter, okay, which will help out. But again, if we get any cold snaps here, be very careful. Your heating bill is going to be a shock, okay? And as you look at the crude oil is, working its way, back. And of course, we just reversed back to the long side of crude oil after being short. And, again, we do think it's going significantly higher because, again, based on the ridiculousness of this administration and their energy policy, which is really just dumb. Okay. Again, you cannot shut down because everything uses oil. It is not something that can be just turned off because you decided that you wanted to turn it off. Okay. And that is the bigger problem when we look back. And the dollar, we're still long, and the dollar is getting very bullish, which is really a little bit more scary to markets. Now, again, I'm not going to get into the effect it is on commodities, because many times everything else is already priced in information before you get there. Okay. So again, I don't want you to get, into this whole, wow, the dollar is going up, so the commodities got to go lower. That's not necessarily factual, because these are not determined over the next day. These are trends that build over time, and much of it might be priced in again. So I wouldn't get overly excited. And as we move over to crypto, Bitcoin, they did come out with the new Ethereum Micro, which is, had an okay debut. but we still, and we will add it to our portfolio. But right now we're still in the Bitcoin micros, which we are short, and they got hammered pretty good last week. Look, at the end of the day, we're believers, and I like them, but there's going to be some pullback, and we're not surprised. We're back on the 40,000 from almost at 70,000. Grain markets, we're still long corn. We're still short beans and wheat, and they had like a mixed kind of week. Wheat got hammered pretty good. Corn kind of drifted higher. Wheat was soybeans was kind of flat. In the meats, we're long feeders, which had an okay week. We're short fat cattle or live cattle, which I think it looks like it may be reversing soon. And hogs will be reversing tomorrow because they don't trade tonight. Okay, but we will be reversing to the long side in hogs. And as we look at the softs, cotton was lower and we were short. Coffee had a rough week, but again, you have to remember where it came from. And it's still looking like it's headed to $3. Okay, we're long sugar, which had a nice up week. We're long cocoa. Okay, and we are short OJ. So again, pretty decent week there. But again, it's the sum total of everything because when you're trading a portfolio. But I think you just have to remember, okay, that there's shortages, there's delivery issues, there's supply chain problems, which do work their way back. Okay, and create problems with price because it really builds oversupply. So we'll see what happens. Again, we're going into, this week, in my opinion, Friday, after Friday's triple hedging expiration, it's over. Okay. And in other words, there'll be nothing but skeleton crews left to trade, other than some major news item that we can't expect, some crisis that shows up. I would suspect that, the markets will probably drift to the upside. But either way, every trading desk will have a skeleton crew on that desk. Okay. So look, at the end of the day, we follow the trends. We trade the markets as they are. And not every week is going to be Christmas. And there ain't nobody on the street corner handing out $100 bills. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Orr. We're going to step out here for our final break and come back with, of course, my commentary and Sunday Night Football right after the break. Well, kids, again, just a reminder of who our sponsors are, because, again, we want to make sure we at least take a look at them. And if I'm telling you that they're good, it means I'm using them and I think they're better. And with 44 years experience in trading for that long, I think I kind of know what I'm talking about. But anyways, it's up to you. At the end of the day, your decision is your decision, and I cannot argue. It's the same as no matter who you vote for. I can't argue who you vote for. I hope you voted. Okay. So to me, it doesn't matter. As long as you respect my opinion, I respect yours. But our sponsors are Capital Trading Group. Again, they're the only ones that can approve for letter of direction trading. They trade my accounts. They've got some great new products coming out. Check them out. info.capitaltradinggroup.com/Bubba. And of course, Trader, $10 a month. We can auto trade for you at no cost. Check them out. try.trader.com/Bubba. And Family Farms Group. Look, if I was a farmer, they'd be in my toolbox. Okay, because they do a great job helping farmers dealing with the minutia that they don't want to deal with. Check them out, familyfarmsgroup.com/Bubba-trading. That's familyfarmsgroup.com/Bubba-trading. And metals, if you're a buyer of physical, which I am on a regular basis, my number one go-to source for hard asset metals is Strategic Wealth Preservation, swpcayman.com/Bubba-trading. And of course, our high school program at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba-trading. Now let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line before I lose my voice the rest of the way, and get back to Bubba's Bottom Line. And of course, my commentary and my football. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, December the 12th. And of course, I have something to say about something, right? But I think that it really comes back down to a lousy administration with lousy policies that has created this unbelievably mess with inflation, with the supply chain, and all for one reason: to create universal basic income, which I think is dumb to begin with. I just think that, there's so many jobs available and we can certainly continue to create jobs in this country. And I think we're dealing with a bunch of morons that don't care about you and me and about the tax bills that we're going to have to pay. And I think that this will always create a much bigger problem, because what it really has done is handcuffing the Fed. Now, I hate the Fed, okay, and I think they're worthless, but it has handcuffed them on the job they're supposed to do. Now, we know they haven't done the job they're supposed to do other than screw the dollar and us in the value of our money. But they're supposed to be able to control this. They really can't even raise rates now to try to temper this inflation, because the debt service of the United States would be huge. So those problems all come from ignorance, stupidity being dealt by morons. Okay, that's what we have. And if you think that's great, well, the rest of the world is laughing as the bumbling boob continues to make mistake after mistake, and the rest of the progressives continue to push a dumb agenda that cannot work, has never been able to work in any country in the world. I urge you to take a look at Venezuela. But in the meantime, if we're going to get out of this, it's going to have to be without UBI, universal basic income, and ignorance that is being fraught throughout the country. And of course, it is Sunday night in America. It is football. And the Bears are playing. Who cares? The Bears suck. Look, it's a very tough game to handicap. I mean, Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears, but then you're looking at a 12.5 point spread. I'm going to take the Packers, but basically, I'm going to take the Packers for, maybe a 6-pack of beer, basically. I mean, I don't see any true value here for any real money, okay? But we did see some pretty good value the other day. So, look, at the end of the day, I think just be careful. If you want a little rooting action, pick your side, but we're going to go with the Packers. In the meantime, we'll see you back here tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, I thank you for tuning in to Bubba's Bottom Line. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you later.